Hi, how are you? Okay. Well, hopefully we can get that sorted out for you. Are you comfortable right now? Okay. If at any point in time during the exam you feel like you'd like to change positions, whether that's seated, standing, or laying down, I can perform most of what I need to do at any of those positions. So just let me know if you could be more comfortable. Okay, great. Well, I'm Dr. Elo, and I'm going to be performing your examination today. Tell me a little bit about what's been going on. Okay. So you're having some neck and shoulder pain? And which side is it on? Your left? Okay. And how long have you been feeling this pain for? A number of months now. Okay. Did it come on slowly, or did you wake up one day and feel like, ow? Okay. So would you say then that the pain has changed over time? It was duller before. Would you call it a sharp pain now? Okay. And where is the sort of epicenter of the pain? If you had to say where it was located, as far as you can tell. Around this area. Okay, so you sometimes feel a bit of a sort of a spasm or nerve twinge down into your shoulder, but the pain isn't consistent there? No. Okay. Okay. No, this is great. This is all really, it's not great, but it's good for me to have the information. I'm glad you understand. Okay. Well, a couple more questions actually. Does the pain get worse at night? It does. And how do you sleep typically? Do you fall asleep in a certain position? Okay. So are you ever, or are you predominantly on that side ever? Okay. And what kind of work do you do, or what's your daily sort of habit like? Are you typically sitting or standing? Okay. Okay. Got it. So that being the case, I definitely want to go ahead and perform the exam, but just since things might be sensitive, we're going to start with a bit of a massage. Before I get my hands all lotiony, I'm going to measure though on either side. I'm glad I thought of this because it'll definitely be easier with clean hands. I'm just going to measure from the base of your ear down to the bottom of your neck on either side, and then from your shoulder, I'm going to get across your shoulder and down to your elbow. Okay, and I'm doing this for comparison against your own body, essentially just to check if there are any sort of differences, anything outstanding on one side versus the other. Typically there should be rough symmetry. Okay, And have you noticed anything, any muscle bulging, any sort of physical difference? Do you ever look in the mirror and kind of inspect? I know it can be hard to see the back unless you have a hand mirror or something. Okay. Alright, well, I'm just going to have you remove your gown, and I'm going to go ahead and get these measurements. So if you can just turn your head for me, okay? I'm just going to measure here. Okay. And we're going to get across. You can just keep your head kind of easy. Don't strain. 9.5. And then we're going to go from the base down to the elbow here, and that is looking like 22. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the other thing. You can bring your head back to neutral. And just sort of rock it slightly back and forth for me. Just want to loosen that joint. Okay. And then just gently turn your head to the other side now. Okay. And here. Okay. Across the elbow. Over the shoulder, sorry. Alright, and now down to the elbow. That is about 22.5. Okay. Alright. So, a little bit of interesting news. There is about half of an inch difference at the ultimate measurement in the series, which is from sort of the base right above your collarbone down diagonally to your elbow. And this difference could indicate that it could be a bit more tense and sort of pinched on one side. There could be a nerve that's being sort of tweaked that could be causing muscle spasms and a sort of tightness that's causing your body to physically react to that sort of pain. And that can be caused by a lot of things, and it's also typically reversible with an elimination of whatever the cause is. It's a good thing that this wasn't brought on by an injury, a very specific injury, because often when we have shoulder and neck pain due to injury, that can be a lot harder to treat. So this is good news, even though it also shows that there is something that we do need to evaluate and treat. Okay, so that just all the more makes me want to start with this sort of soft tissue massage, which I'm going to use a light lotion. Are you allergic to any perfume scents? Okay, this one is very mild. It's called Rain-Kissed Leaves. Its scent is very fresh, not fruity, not floral, just kind of almost a bamboo freshness kind of smell. Okay, and if that's not going to bother you, I'll just work this all around the area, into the crook of your neck and down your shoulder on this side, and we'll try to alleviate some of that tension. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and do some range of motion tests. have you move your arms in different directions, and through that process we'll check to see the functionality of your shoulder. Okay, so I'm just gonna warm this up and just begin to apply some pressure here next to your neck. Okay, so as I'm working through here, do you just want to tell me a little bit more about the sensations and when you noticed them? And you can just relax as you're speaking. If you want to close your eyes, that's normal. Don't worry. Okay. Do you drive often? Manual or automatic? Okay. I'm just going to work down now into your shoulder area, the crook of your neck, really above your collarbone here. Okay. So after you sleep, it still gets a little better, but not quite as much as before. Okay. And you said that sometimes it's a stabbing, sharp type pain. I'm going to work around your shoulder now. I'm just going to sort of rock your shoulder. Okay. Okay. So really it's been like 3 or 4 months since you think you initially noticed. Okay. That's understandable. I know sometimes we can just kind of hope it goes away, and we wait until we can't wait anymore. And then it's usually pretty serious by that point, so I'm sorry that you're feeling this pain at all. I know it's not fun to have any sort of chronic pain. It feels like you're living in a box, you know? Is this feeling okay? I'm just gonna slightly massage around your jaw now. And pull down and out into your neck. Just kind of rolling my fingers with this. They're still quite oily from the lotion, so they're just kind of gonna glide over your major jugular vein there and just ease out that tension. So keep your head nice and light for me, just gentle. And whenever you can, just take a deep breath in for me and release it. And again, in and release. And this time I'm going to put a little bit deeper pressure, okay? Breathe in. Near your shoulder again. Seems like your joints are feeling a little less tense now to me. They're sort of trap areas loosening. Do you do any neck stretching? Okay. Alright. So we'll do a little bit of that as well. Just give me a nice little few shoulder rolls down, and I want you to inhale, and when you exhale I want you to really let all your air out and allow your shoulders to really drop as you exhale. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Good, and release it and let your shoulders just hang. Good. You can really be dramatic about it. It's actually helps your body relax when you kind of do over the top inhale and exhale and really let yourself let the shoulders drop. Okay. So one thing that's important is that we remember to keep our shoulders drawn away from our ears. Sometimes when we get tense, if we're doing office work, if we're exercising, if we're just feeling tense in general from anxiety, job stress, anything like that, we can carry that in our shoulders, and the tightening from that stress can make feelings like the ones you're having much worse. So it's a challenge, but trying to be cognizant of where your shoulders are for the next few weeks would be really helpful, just as a baseline way of reducing some of the intensity. It's probably not the root cause of the issue, but managing that stress and managing your body's sort of stasis and sense of calm is a great way to minimize how much it hurts. Okay, so I'd like for you to just try every once in a while to think, where are my shoulders, where are my shoulders, and use that little breathing trick if you can. If not, just give it a roll and draw the shoulders down and back and sort of feel a nice V shape in your upper back. Strong stance. Okay. And doing this will help alleviate that just bodily tension. Okay. Alright, great. So now that we have you a little more limber, let's do a few stretches before we do your actual rotation for the exam. Okay? Okay, so the first one is just a simple neck tilt shoulder stretch. So all you're going to do, kind of helps sometimes to place a hand on your head and just tilt gently to the side. And we're just going to do it for 10 seconds, but I recommend that you do it for 30 seconds for each side and repeat that about 3 times. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And remember while you're doing that you still want your shoulders down and away. This is a neck stretch straight through here. You don't want to bend your shoulder up to your ear, and you don't want to crunch your neck so harshly that this is going to create a strain. We don't want to hurt anything, so that's why the gentle hand on the head can kind of help be just a reminder that we're doing a gentle tilt. Okay, so we'll go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. And so you can repeat those stretches anytime, especially if you're working on the computer, staring at a tablet or a smartphone a lot, where you're craning your neck in any way, or sitting for prolonged periods of time. And that should be very helpful. Okay. Alright. Next, we're going to do a rotator cuff stretch. So just take your hand and sort of cock your wrist and put it on your hip, kind of the midway point between your chest and where your pants would sit. Okay, so on your true waist. And after you have your arm in this bent position on your side, I want you to take your other hand and reach across and grab your elbow. Okay? And then just gently pull your elbow forward. And you'll feel a nice stretch right through your shoulder, a little bit down into your triceps maybe. And also along your back, because this is the chicken wing stretch. It helps ensure that you have nice and limber chicken wings. And building a strong back and a strong core can be extremely helpful in creating a body that reduces shoulder and neck stress and pain. So the whole system is very much tied together. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our hand on our waist with our wrist cocked back, a little bit of attitude. Grab across and pull the elbow slightly forward. Just lean into the stretch a little bit. Don't overdo it. You don't want to cause further injury, especially on this side, your left, where you're feeling all that pain. So remember to stand tall and or sit or lay, and keep your shoulders drawn away from your ears. Okay. Nice and loose through the back now. Does that feel okay? And you didn't feel any pain while you were doing those stretches? No. Okay. Good. That's good news. Okay. Now I'm going to have you just bring your arms with your palms facing down, straight up and overhead. Okay? Yep. Perfect. Okay. Touch my fingertips. Alright, good. Any pain when you did that? A little in your neck? Okay. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but draw your arms just out to the sides for me, straight out. Okay. And can you pull your arms down into my hands? Good. And then press them up into my palms. Okay, good. You can relax. Was there any pain or tenderness when you did that? Okay. then can I just get you to look to your right for me? Okay, I'm just gonna feel here on this side of your neck. Let me know if this feels tender at all, okay? Okay. Feels okay? Okay. Okay. I'm actually going to walk around behind you now, and I'm going to examine your spine. Okay? Okay, so I'm just gonna feel down into the back of your spine now, and does it hurt when I press here? Okay, and what about here? Alright, and can you bend forward for me slightly? Okay, good. Alright, and then just sit up straight for me if you will, and I'm just gonna look. Okay, your spine looks well aligned to me. I don't see anything sticking out where it shouldn't. I didn't feel like there were any abnormalities. It didn't feel like anything was out of position either when I was checking your lower lumbar, which can sometimes be a cause of shoulder and neck pain. I know it doesn't really make much sense, but back pain can radiate and cause a lot of neck and shoulder pain. The back can sometimes be the place that you feel it least, just because of the way that it can tweak the nerves, and it will send painful signals to another area of the body that is related to the problem, but not actually the problem. But when I look at your spine, everything suggests health. Okay. Alright. And from the front, it seems that your shoulders are resting naturally and equal. I don't see any major differences in your collarbone either. Okay. So, if you can, I'm going to have you bend your arm for me, just at the elbow, and I'm going to have you give me the double thumbs up and put your hands in that position right above your belly button, okay? So keep your shoulders down and back. I want your kind of pinkies resting right above your belly button. Thumbs up together. Okay, and I'm just gonna feel here on both sides from around your temples all the way down to your elbows, okay? So this is gonna take a second. But as I said, all of these sort of systems are interlinked, so I want to be very thorough. Any pain or tenderness here in your temples? And what about down here into your jaw? Does this feel okay? Okay, I'm just gonna press into your neck line. That feels okay? Okay. Across your shoulders. Surface feels equally smooth, quite symmetrical. Shoulders are well rounded. I don't see any signs of hunching. Do you do any physical activity, play sports, exercise? Like to hike? Me too. Okay. Alright. Based on what I'm seeing so far, I think that it's very likely that you have a bit of a pinched nerve actually in your upper back, almost at the midway point between your neck and shoulder. This sort of tweak can radiate the sort of stabbing pain that you're talking about, but I can see that it would start off as a dull, more tolerable pain, because I do think that this is coming from your seated position. It sounds like you might be spending a lot of time in front of technologies, which causes you to sit a lot, and also be moving your neck in certain ways and sometimes sitting for prolonged periods of time. I don't know what your home setup is like with your couch, TV, computer, desk, all of that. But the smallest issue in that setup, if you're participating in those things often, so if you're sitting at the computer for 4 to 6 or more hours a day, if you're watching television for an extreme length of time as well, and not in a judgmental way, but these are extreme amounts of time just based on the human form and what it expects. So getting up and around every 20 or so minutes is very healthy and good for your body's circulatory system. If you're getting any headaches along with this pain, it can be really helpful to take these small breaks, and also to flex the eyes. The eyes are a muscle in their own right as well, and when you're looking at something at any set distance, but especially close up, for a prolonged period of time, it kind of hyper focuses the eyes. So you want to look at whatever is a close object, and then you want to look at an object in the distance as well, and just sort of for maybe 10 or 12 seconds stare off into the distance and then at something close. And if you can't leave where you are at that time, typically this can be done from any setup. You don't have to look at anything in particular, just something close and something far. Right? Okay. Another great thing to do is to find a wall and open up the front of your chest, sort of almost near where your armpits are. So if you grab just any wall, keep your hand planted, and then turn your body so you're kind of stretching just this area here, and it's very easy to do on either side. You just need that little bit of resistance, and again, it should feel pleasant, so just sort of lean into the stretch. And if you're feeling tight that day, don't push it, take it slow. You can get your shoulders lubricated by kind of pretending you're running, and really sort of aggressively pump your arms from the shoulder, not from the elbow. You can get that joint nice and lubricated, you can do the rotator cuff stretch at that point. You can also use a wall after to stretch the front, so you'll have stretched the back and the front of the sort of upper body at that point. You have your side neck stretches as well. And all of these things feel pretty mild. However, when you do have this sort of injury and chronic pain, it's incredibly important to slowly work into your health. It may take a lot of patience, but doing these tiny steps and making sure that you're getting them right, even if they don't feel like they're doing that much, or it doesn't feel like aggressive treatment, we don't need that. We need this nice, mild, gentle strength building, because we're essentially starting from square one. Right? So don't overwork your body, don't feel guilty or like you're not doing enough. These little stretches are like building a shield of armor for yourself. So you do it every day, a little bit, and eventually you have a very strong system that you're working with. Okay, so those are going to be some treatment tips for you. Okay? Another thing I recommend is taking some Epsom salt baths. They're a little pricey sometimes. Usually a bag can be between $6 and $10. You may be able to find them online for cheaper than in stores. I like Dr. Teal's brand. The pink Himalayan salt is a wellness restoration that I think smells and feels really good. And I also recommend, there's one, I believe it's just called Wellness Therapy or something along those lines. It's the red design on their typical packaging. That one is also particularly for muscle soreness and aches, and that kind of situation can help a lot. And if you don't have access to a tub, I would recommend doing on and off ice and heat, maybe in the shower. You can get a sort of cold pillow, cold pack, something comfortable. I use an eye mask sometimes because it drapes over the shoulder well. But just some sort of cold treatment. You can place it on your shoulder for 10 or so minutes, and then in the hot shower you can apply the hot water to the same area on a gentle sort of spray setting, and kind of create your own icy hot. That's why that is the thing. The cold and then the heat is very soothing. So, okay. That's correct. So, literally sitting in the kind of improper way based on chairs and our own habits of how we keep our posture can pinch a nerve and cause all of this pain. So sitting properly is actually kind of the root cause of the issue. Not that it's your fault, but we all kind of slouch and don't always have the best posture. And also sometimes we are just given equipment, whether that's our work space, work desk, hand-me-down, chairs and desks that we're using at home, whatever the case. We don't think really about how important that is, but then we spend all this time in those spaces and we never commit the money or the investment to making them ergonomic, and it really does have an effect on our body and our health. Yeah. So just to recap, get up and around every 20 or so minutes whenever you're sitting for prolonged periods of time and or using electronic devices. Flex your eyes by looking at something close and then something far. You can perform your stretches, lubricate the shoulders, do the rotator cuff, do the front of the chest, any sort of head, shoulder rolls, arm rolls that you need to do to get those crackles out of your body and make everything feel nice and strong. Also remember to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Focus on your posture. Think about how you're sitting and how you're controlling your body on your day-to-day, since that's likely the cause of the pain. Okay? You can do a soak, a hot and cold compress for extra pain relief, and think of your stretches as kind of mini exercises that are going to help strengthen the area that is hurting right now and help heal it to a better state. And along those lines, remember to reduce stress as much as possible. Okay, and what I'm going to recommend is that you come back in about 8 weeks and we'll have a follow-up appointment. And I will teach you the next sequence of stretching that will be helpful. We'll kind of move up into a sort of physical therapy that will help rehabilitate and hopefully get this back to 100% without any issues. But we do need to eliminate the underlying cause with the posture and your environmental factors, okay? So keep at those stretches for the next 8 weeks. You can come into me any time and get another shoulder and neck massage. Just call ahead. We do like a 20 to 30 minute session, or we do a longer 40 to 60 minute session where we can really work out all of the pain if you're having a particularly bad day. And don't feel bad to take advantage of that. Usually I have time multiple times a day to fit those in around other clients. I kind of schedule time for it, so okay. Alright, great. Well, I hope that you're feeling a little bit better than you were when you came in. And as you know, here at Quake, you're always welcome to stay. I know that it's getting pretty late, so if you want to sleep, stay the night. You can feel more than welcome. The beds here are always made up and ready. You have your snacks and waters and all of your drinks here as well, in your mini bar, as you know. And if not, you can also just stay for as long as you'd like. Leave whenever you feel ready. Okay. If you do drive, please be safe getting home. And it looks like the 8 weeks would put us at the 10th. Is that okay with you? It's a Tuesday. What time would you want to do? Like 6:15? Okay. Alright, I have you all booked in for that. Is there anything else I can do? Did you have any other questions? Okay. Well, it was great to see you, and I hope you have a lovely evening and get to feeling better.